Hey everybody, welcome to the Mike and Brad Show. I am Mike.
And I'm Brad. Whoa! Whoa, you have tuned in for a great episode.
Welcome to
today.
Newsmakers.
We are on top of all the current events. We are so prepared for today that I texted Mike and said, should we skip the show? We have nothing to talk about. So this will be fun.
We got plenty to talk about.
That's true, Mike.
We really do.
Being my true pessimistic self, you're right. We have lots to talk about. You can smell when you go outside, especially I'd say in the early morning, which I never do, or like evening, you start smelling the fall seeping its poison into the air. It smells like school. You smell it, you're like, oh shit, we gotta go to school soon. Do you feel like, I still feel like that as an adult.
You still feel like
oh, we gotta go to school soon.
Well, school is the sign, is always the sign of summer's over. And when you start seeing the back to school specials in the paper and on TV and everything, and you're like, all right. And they're kind of like they squeeze summer out fast, so trying to get rid of it.
Oh, yeah.
You know? But years ago, it used to be Labor Day was like after Labor Day, school started. Now it's after the fall. Now school starts in July.
Yeah, as soon as 4th of July is over, boom, get the fall pumpkin out there. Time to get the school bags ready, everybody.
As soon as you see that first pumpkin spice commercial, it's over. It's game over.
How horrific is school?
And the cool, not the cool thing about it is like you got everybody's posting, and I did it today. I'm guilty today. I posted my grandson's first day of school pictures.
You know, what a proud granddad.
And then you got a lot of comedians do this. They all post one of them as an adult.
Like
they're still in school.
Oh,
yeah,
and
they're just reaching for that cheap laugh.
I can't insult anyone. I post videos and pictures of my cat every single day. So who am I to criticize anybody?
Yeah, like Brad asked me, he said, hey, want to come watch Carmen's soccer game the other day? I'm all by myself there. Oh, come hang with me, come hang with me. And he brings his cat, Bruce Wayne, and I'm just like a third wheel.
Well, Bruce is pretty important.
Yeah, and then everybody's just like all over there, and I'm just standing there, and everybody's like fawning over this kitten. And
here's the thing. Look, nothing against kids or your kids. I'm sure you love your kids. Mike loves his grandkids. There is not a human baby on earth as cute as my cat. That's all I'm saying. Speaking of which, I didn't even tell you.
How about babies that, like, you know, and then, was it a Seinfeld episode, like, you know, Ugly Baby?
Yes, it's a great episode.
So it's like, most babies aren't good looking. You know what I mean?
We have like 3 viewers. Each of them have kids. They all just tuned out. We're hating on babies.
I'm gonna get a text later. What do you mean my baby is ugly?
Mike and I, we don't discuss politics on this show, but we will bash babies
we will
and call them ugly.
We will attack your kid's big forehead.
Your ugly kid. Get your ugly kid off Facebook.
You better get that kid a cage. What do you feed that kid with a slingshot? Come on, man. Can we just fast forward to the first day of school with that kid and put a hat on him to cover that big noggin of him?
Bring the masks back for your kids.
You better homeschool that kid unless he likes to bleed.
Speaking of the kids, I didn't even tell you this. I had a nightmare the other day that my wife and I had 3 kids. Nightmare. I woke up like cold sweat.
No way. No. And you went and checked this spare room. And it wasn't pink or blue.
My heart was great. I'm like, oh.
You went in there and you were so happy to see just Bruce Lee pictures and little action figures. He was so happy, I bet.
Dude, you have no idea. I was so relieved. I was like, it was just a dream. It was just a dream.
Just a dream. There was no Sunny D in the fridge, nothing. Woof! I dodged a bullet. Dude, you have no idea what it's like to have kids. I am poor. My kids cost like $3 million to raise. $3 million to raise. And you know what I got for? I got like walking around Santa's Village this weekend for 27 miles of walking. But it was great, and it really is cool. Just like you like hanging out with Bruce Wayne. But guess what? Bruce Wayne the kitten cannot go on any of the rides at Santa's Village.
Well, we haven't tried yet. We've brought him everywhere else. We brought him to the beach, so you never know.
People,
this has been a great segment to promote practicing safe sex, everybody.
So now, like, can you imagine if you had like a son or a daughter?
Yeah, they wouldn't be able to watch us, but that ain't happening. So we got no problems. There are no. The good thing is, I feel
the
like
teachers will be like, "Are you Brad Pants' kid?" And they'd be like, "No."
Doesn't your father hate you and said you're ugly?
Well, they won't be going to Warwick Vets, that's for sure.
That's for sure, because my high school, Warwick Vets, closed down. And on the topic of high school and back to school, I was thinking about this because it is back to school. When the air changes, literally, I instantly think, oh shit, it's time for school. And I have that panic that set in that I had when I went to school. No surprise, I wasn't the greatest student. I didn't like school. I only liked the social
That's
aspect,
weird.
talking to my friends, running my mouth. I like that. I didn't like to do any work. I actually used to have this system, because by senior year, I don't know if
Wait, did you say you used to have a system?
System. I'm going to tell you about my system.
No,
for
you
high
never
school.
told me about.
Oh, all right,
well,
this is true.
well, let me give the little backstory first.
Sure.
Both of Brad's older brothers are like Rhodes Scholars. Rhodes Scholars. They're both genius level. And then there was the accident, Brad.
My oldest brother speaks several languages. He has a PhD. He's traveled all over the
Brad
world.
doesn't even understand his English language.
I can't even say the letter R. And my middle brother, Jeff, is like a theologian. And I do the Mike and Brad show here at Brute Awakening.
And you walk around shopping malls with a cat in a backpack.
That's very true. So by senior year, my parents had honestly, I'd say by high school, my parents had mailed it in with me. They completely
gave up.
He's not going to do his homework. He's not going to listen.
Yeah.
They had mailed it
Your mom had a tube side. She's like, I'm not going through this again. This is nuts. My other two kids, amazing. And we got Brad.
They, that's not quitting while you're ahead. I guess quit after a tough loss. So a couple things. One is I failed a ton of classes. So what would happen is I'd go see, you've heard about my guidance counselor. My guidance counselor used to insult me a lot. One thing my guidance counselor would say, this is true, I'd sit in his office, he'd go, well, do you like the cafeteria food here?
That was your future.
Yeah. He goes, what do you think? You like the French fries? And I was like, yeah, I guess. Yeah, they're good. He goes, good, because you're going to be eating that for a while. Because I failed a lot of classes. And what he would say, every year I'd meet with him in his office, and he'd go, well, you failed this class, you failed this class. You have two options. You can do summer school. Yeah. Or you can redo this class next year, which I'd always do. So my senior year...
You had 20 classes. You had 20 classes. You were cramming.
My senior year, I had sophomore and junior history on my senior year, which is a true story. So I had to cram in, because usually when I went to high school as senior, you kind of have like a lot of electives. It's kind of like a fun year. Mm-hmm. I was cramming in all those serious classes that I had failed over and over.
Wow.
So anyways, by that point, my parents
What was
had
the class again that you had to take over again?
Sophomore and junior history.
History.
Yes.
Well, the cool thing about history is nothing changes. So, it's like, you would think you would catch up on it a little bit. Because now that history that you would have learned as a sophomore is already 2 years older.
By like the third time, I started catching on with
like,
some stuff.
oh man, wow. This George Washington guy was pretty cool. Like, what? We want a what?
The irony is, now that I'm an adult, Like, I appreciate history and science and math and stuff.
History's
At the
amazing.
time, I was like, this is bullshit. I'm not doing it.
Like, I ain't gonna need this like it was calculus. I ain't gonna need this. All I need is a calculator.
I turned down taking typing as an elective. I was like, when do I need to know how to type on a computer?
And now you're like this.
Back to my system.
System.
So senior year, I would sleep in. I would sleep as late as I wanted.
Wow.
Because my mother had a temp job. She'd work during the day. My dad worked during the day. They had no idea, nor did they give a shit. I'd sleep as late as I wanted. And here's the system. You can't just go strolling in because you got to go to the check-in at the office. They mark you as late, and you get a couple late, so you get detention. And you can even get Saturday detention.
You were Ferris Bueller.
Yeah, I was like, I'm not doing that. So what I would do is, check this out. I would time it perfectly so that I would walk in the door right in between class.
And just merge
and
into the
go
crowd.
into my next class. So now...
And nobody knew.
No, because they would say, oh, Brad, it says here you're absent. Like, oh, yeah, I came in late today. Boom. They didn't know. When the
So it
teacher would
didn't
do
matter
attendance...
if you were, like, they didn't know you were 3 hours late. They just thought you were late.
They thought it was absent. They were like, why is it marked as absence? I said, I'm late. But the front desk, the office, the principal doesn't know that I'm late. They think I'm absent. The teacher's like, oh, okay, he must have checked in at the thing. Teacher doesn't know. The only downside was at the end of the quarter, it would say I was absent like a billion times. But again, my parents didn't check anymore, so it didn't matter. And the other secret to the system is no cell phones back then. And so what they would do is that they would leave sometimes a message on the old answering machine.
You'd get home before them like Ferris Bueller.
Delete that shit. Problem solved.
That light was always blinking red.
Delete.
And your mom would come home every day after a temp job trying to put food on the table.
Yeah.
And she'd look at it and no blinking red.
No calling. Hey, and Brad's killing it at school. I walked in late all the time. I was just talking to my friend Justin on the way here. I said, we're going to talk about back to school. What do you remember about going to school with me? He goes, well, you were late all the time. And I was like, I am going to talk about. The secret was, and back then, there wasn't all the crazy security risks like now. You could just walk in any door.
You didn't have the cop at the door.
No, you could just walk in.
You could go in the back doors, the side doors, and everything like that.
Didn't matter.
I went to summer school 3 times.
Wow, I was going to ask you if you were a good student.
Well, my hearing had a lot to do with it. I gave up to, because, I was embarrassed by my hearing loss, and I learned more in summer school than I did in high school because you had to pass the class. But it was more one-on-one at summer school than in high school.
Less distraction.
I couldn't hear the teacher, so I did. Instead of asking for help, I just kind of like went with the flow, failed the class, and then...
For those following along, Mike struggled in school because he was literally deaf and would go to summer school and work his ass off to catch up. I just didn't feel like doing anything. My ears work, they're huge. I just refused to listen or do anything. That's, if you're following what happened in our high
Did you
school.
do any sports in school?
Nope, too lazy. I should have played basketball. I'm 9 feet tall.
Yeah.
Too lazy. I'm like, wait, stay at school when the bell rings?
You probably had a skateboard too. You probably skateboarded to school.
In the hallway, I skateboarded.
No.
Yes, I skateboarded to school, and I like to play basketball. But the difference is we play in my neighborhood because there's no chance in hell I'm sticking around the school building.
Oh, you're not putting a Warwick Vets uniform on?
Hell no. I was thinking about the other day because we went to my niece's volleyball
You need good
game.
grades to play too, by the way, so that would have disqualified you.
Done right there. I went to my niece's high school volleyball game just the other night. Jenna's playing volleyball. And I was thinking, I'm like looking at the time, I'm like, it's like 5 o'clock. This kid's been at this school since fucking, sorry, I don't like to swear on the show. Sorry about that. The kid's been at this school since like 7 in the morning.
Yeah.
And still, I'm like, there's no way I would ever do that.
I was senior class president. I was at school at 7 o'clock in the morning, and I wrestled in high school, so I would
Overachiever.
I was at school at 7 o'clock in the morning. I had to take the city bus to get there. So my day would start, I would get up around 5:30. I make sure I'm at the bus stop by 6:15, take the city bus into Central. I went to Central High School, and then I would be in school all day, then wrestling practice after school, and then I would get on another city bus and go to Original Marcello's, where I was a dishwasher all during high school, and I'd work till 10 o'clock at night and then walk home. I'd go home around 11 o'clock and then do the same thing every day.
Basically, if Mike's ears worked, he'd be the CEO of a Fortune 500 company right now. The more you talk about what you did and I talk about what I didn't do, the more I feel like a piece of shit. As we keep going, it's just worse and worse.
That's right. That's right. Your yearbook must have been full of like inspirational quotes from fellow classmates. And Brad has a thing. Like whenever we do a show at a theater or something, and you know, in the green room or backstage, people sign the wall and everything. And Brad always puts the same thing. Have a cool summer, Brad Pierce. And it's awesome. If you go to Odeum and Star,
I have found that funny forever.
I laugh every time I see it.
I will never not find that funny.
Have a cool summer, Brad Pierce.
I will never not find that funny. Do kids, like, this? We're really showing our age. Like, because that's literally what everybody would write. I wonder if the kids even sign yearbooks. Is that a thing anymore? Or do they just swear at each other on Facebook walls?
I don't think that. Yeah.
Is that a thing? Is there a yearbook for these kids?
I think they just go bash you on social media.
Yeah, they just go shit on your Facebook page. One more school thing that I almost forgot. Again, my friend Justin.
We're almost out of time.
Yeah, my friend Justin reminded me of one more school thing because I was trying to think about school and back to school. So here, the whole time I've been talking about how I had no ambition, I was lazy, I was a screw up, all very true. But I would always find ambition to do weird things. So as you know, Mike created these t-shirts. And Mike designed my Brad Pierce comedian t-shirts. And we both sold t-shirts. Well, my first selling random t-shirts thing started in high school. Funny story. Me and my friend Justin, very funny guy, we were in the same math class, which was an 11th grade math class. He was a year younger than me. I was in there because I was a screw-up. And we're going through this math equation, and he notices there's a misprint in the book. It's supposed to say circle, and it says Reckle, R-C-L-E. And he's like, and he's a wicked wise. He's not loud and obnoxious like me. He's like a wicked quiet dude. But he'll throw these like dry little
digs. Those are the funniest people.
He's like, I'm trying to solve this equation. How do I solve for Reckle or whatever he said?
He says that to the teacher?
Yes. And she's like looking at it, and you could tell she's like, what is this? And then she's like, I don't know. It's got to mean circle or so. He's like, I don't know. It says Reckle. So they're going back and forth, and she's getting mad. Like, move on from this Reckle. He's like, no, it's got to be important. It's in the book, and he's like making her more and more and more mad. Yeah. So he gets this idea as we're laughing after class. Like, how funny was it? The more she got mad about Reckle, let's get Reckle t-shirts made.
Yeah.
So it will show up to her class with the. So we get the Reckle.
Put a circle around it.
We got the Reckle shirts, right? Yeah. We go to the mall. You go to a little stand. You get the shirts
and pay $40 for just 2 shirts.
A couple of other friends were like, "Oh, that's pretty funny. I want one."
Oh.
Another friend of mine, Adam, in the same class.
You were like,
he's like, "Get me a Reckle shirt."
At Warwick Vest.
So we started, as you know, with those places, if you buy them in bulk, they're cheaper. We start selling them for profit.
No way.
And now more and more kids are like, what are those Reckle shirts? And we come to a point where every Wednesday was Reckle Day. You'd wear your Reckle shirt. And more people would start wearing them. And then some of like the jocks and like the snobby.
You still have the shirt.
Oh, I wish.
I wish.
I bet my friend Adam does. In my yearbook, there's a ton of references to it.
Yeah.
But some of the like trendy, like popular jocks and popular kids found it annoying because they weren't part of it. So, but then more and more kids would keep buying them in different colors and stuff, and we were making money off them. All for a shirt that literally means nothing. It's a misprint from a math book. That I had the ambition to do that, but not to pay attention in class ever.
Unbelievable.
That is my high school story. We're going to move on. That was like 4 hours long of high school.
Long, pretty long. We lost a few viewers.
Yeah, well, we lost all the viewers when we were talking about their ugly kids.
NFL? like back to school, it's cool and it gives the parents a break to go back. They don't have to have the kids all day anymore, so it's pretty cool. I'm enjoying watching the grandkids go back to school. They love it. The bus picks them right up in front of the house, that type of deal. But welcome back to school. It is now fall.
It is fall, and today football starts. I almost wore my Murray Pierce shirt, but I was like, you know what? It's football day. I talked a lot of crap about the Pats last week, which I will continue to do, but I want to continually remind everybody, I'm a Pats fan for life.
I'm excited.
I'm wearing my shirt. I wish I was excited, but I'll watch. I hate the Chiefs. I just want them to lose. I hope Burrow has a good season, and I'm looking forward to watching Tom Brady.
Yeah, which will be Sunday night. I think Sunday, right? On Fox, he will be doing that. But wait, here's the thing.
Game too.
Brad, think about it this way. The Patriots won for 20 plus years, dominated the NFL. How many people, football fans, they all did the same thing. They watched the Patriots to see them lose. And we're now in their shoes.
It's more fun when we're in the other shoes.
It's more fun.
It's way more fun being the champ. Yeah, it's way more fun. Well, watching football without Tom Brady, it's like watching basketball, but there's no hoop. There's I'll watch it. They're dribbling it around. There's setting picks. There's nothing exciting for me anymore. The dynasty's gone. The excitement is gone. It's just I sit there.
I think there's a lot of new players. I think there's a lot of new excitement. It's just changing. We went through the Magic and Bird era. Now we went through the Brady and the Mannings era, and now it's like the Favres and the Rodgers, and now we're moving on to even Mahomes is like he's older than a lot of the guys,
which makes me feel like I'm 100.
Yeah, but and then the crazy part is my wife will be sitting next to me. She'll say, "How old is he?" I'm like, "He's 21," and it was
he's what? 30.
My kids are 25 and they're still here. And this kid's over here leading the league in
You and Kathy should adopt Mahomes.
I hate the kid. I hate the stupid haircut.
I hate the Chiefs.
Stupid haircut. I mean, who's telling him that hair looks good?
The only silver lining about Mahomes is how much he talks like Kermit the Frog. That is the silver lining. I will never get sick of watching the Kermit the Frog little cartoons with his real voice over it. It is the funniest thing you ever seen in your life.
I can't see. I never got. I didn't know it was his voice. I thought it was his appearance because I can't hear the difference.
Oh no, he sounds just like him.
So he sounds like Kermit.
Just like him. The first time I saw a cartoon Kermit with the Chiefs jersey in the thing, and they dubbed in the actual audio from his interview, I literally crying, laughing. Yeah. He sounds just like him. It is the funniest thing in the whole world. That is the only upside at all about it.
I don't like. See, is he a good quarterback? Yeah, he's lucky as hell. Just like I bet a lot of people said Brady was lucky.
Yeah. But he's incredibly talented. I think he'll end up going down as one of the best of all time. It's like LeBron. He's
not going to catch Brady.
It's like LeBron. I can't stand the guy. I don't like him, but I'd be an idiot to tell you he's not an absolute beast. Like, Mahomes is so good, and the better he is, the more it irritates the shit out of me. I can't stand him.
The thing I don't like about Mahomes is just to trick plays, like the tosses.
As Jonathan Tilson would call it, hot dogging. You ever see?
Yeah.
Tilson's like, I'm sick of this hot dog.
Which is like an old term, and then like the old commentator, I think it was a baseball commentator, put some mustard on that hot dog, So yeah, I think it's a slap in the face to the people on the other team. Like when he does something like that, like he did a behind the back pass during preseason, and I just hope someday somebody just takes it all the way the other way someday.
Oh, picks him off. That would be nice. Hopefully somebody on the Pats.
There's nothing funny about this. We're just disgusted by
we're just irritated.
The dynasty's over. But Brad, I'm gonna end it with this.
Okay.
I'm a big fan of all right, I was with the Patriots when they didn't win for years.
That's how old Mike is. Yes.
So think about it. Till I was 40, they didn't win.
Yeah.
So that's a lot of years.
Yeah.
Now, I enjoyed the rebuilding. I enjoyed, and it made all those winning. Since you grew up with them winning all the time, I enjoyed it way more because I remember how bad it was. And now we're going through that again. They did get a good quarterback in the draft. They got a new coach. Nobody's going to be better than Belichick.
I believe you said you think that they should bench Drake May. Was that you who said that the other day? You know who agreed with you?
Cool.
I was listening to an interview last night, as a matter of fact, and somebody said the exact same thing you did. I asked Mike, I was saying I think Drake May should stop. And Mike said, no, they should ease him into it, let him learn the system, get used to pro football. And I'm willing to admit that I was wrong, and Mike was right. And you know how I know this? You know who said the exact same thing? Tom Brady.
And Tom Brady could speak on experience. He didn't come into his second year, and he came in through an injury.
Just put that on the checklist of one more thing that Mike Murray and Tom Brady have in common. There's so many things, so many. All right, moving on. A couple fun questions before we go. If you had the choice to be a vampire or a werewolf, what would you like to be?
Oof. Probably a vampire, because they always seem to go be biting the necks of hot women, like forever and ever and ever and ever. You never die.
If there's ever been an episode that we hope Mike's wife does not watch, it's this one. First, we're bashing kids. She'll hate us for that. And now he's talking about sucking on hot chicks' necks. I hope she never watches this episode.
Yeah.
Yeah. I gotta agree. I would like to be a vampire because the idea
it's eternity. You never die.
I don't want to die.
Unless somebody comes along with a stake.
Who's going to do that? Who's walking around stabbing people with stakes? I don't want to die. I don't want to age. Getting old is annoying. I would like to be a vampire too.
Yeah, I think, there's got to be a shelf life for a werewolf. You know what I mean?
I don't even know what the upside of being a werewolf is.
There is no upside.
Our friend Tom Batista looks like a werewolf.
Unless you play high school basketball too. He could squeeze on a uniform, and then you're a pretty cool werewolf, right?
So if you ever get the opportunity to become a werewolf or a vampire, let's say you're visited by a genie, ask yourself, do I want to try out for the high school varsity basketball team? Because if so, I would go with werewolf. What a ridiculous movie Teen Wolf is. Ridiculous.
All those movies were ridiculous. Then any movie with talking animals too. If there's a talking animal, I'm out.
This goes beyond.
Air Bud, who played basketball for high school.
Dude, Air Bud.
The National Guard should have been notified. Hey, you're not gonna believe this, but there's a sheepdog's playing for Central High School, and he's leading the league in scoring.
Air Bud should be an Academy Award-winning classic in comparison to Teen Wolf. Teen Wolf is ridiculous. It's a whole movie about puberty. Puberty and Duncan basketballs is the theme. So, all right, we were both going with vampire because neither one of us have basketball aspirations.
Chicks are very attractive to vampires. They're attracted to all stuff. They love serial killers. They love vampires. They love kids.
I bet you'd still have a gallbladder if you were a vampire.
Yes. I bet vampires have great gallbladders.
You should have asked to keep your gallbladder. We could have auctioned it off here on the show. You should have asked, when they took your gallbladder out, they should have let you keep it in like a jar.
In a jar.
You could have sold it or something. We could
on eBay.
Yeah.
Have people bidding over it. Mike Murray's gallbladder.
You know John Allen would have bought that gallbladder. 100%.
He would buy it. 100%.
100%.
John, we love John Allen.
We do love. He's our #1 fan. He's the best. And then I guess we'll end by I'll tell you about my Nightmare gig yesterday, real quick. I already told you about it, I guess, but
I could have as soon as you told me and whenever somebody tells me that they're going to be doing a gig like that, don't take it. Don't take it. Charge them crazy money. And if they give it to you, then throw yourself to the wolves. But tell them about this. This is probably the worst gig.
So most of the time, Mike and I will say to each other, wow, we have it. We're so lucky. We have it so good. How lucky are we that we get to perform comedy for a living? We get paid to make people laugh. You know, we look at you know, you bums out there working 8 hours a week, slaving away, and we're like, those suckers.
And
but then there are these times like yesterday where I'm like, wow, I should have paid attention at school. I should have got a 9 to 5 job.
I should never took my skateboard to school. I should have joined the basketball club.
I was like, I take it all back. I should have got a real job. This is a nightmare.
Your brothers never had to go through the torture you had to do.
Sir, I did a gig for a bunch of police. It was a fundraiser, but they had been golfing and drinking all day. They come into the country club.
Red flag one.
Half of them are going to the raffle table to pick out prizes. The other half are like, where's the food? They're waiting for their buffet to start. And then the guy is like, hey guys, we have a comedian. Here's Brad Pierce. And I'm like, what the hell? I'm like, nobody knows I'm even here. At one point during my set, I said, I feel like I'm performing at the mall food court right now, and nobody said there was a comedian coming. Like, it's like I walked into the Warwick Mall food court with a mic, like, hey, everybody, so what about airplane food?
Which we have done. We have performed. We have performed on Warwick Avenue.
So Mike's right. We did stand-up on the side of the road, and the stand-up I did on the side of the road on West Shore Road was a better gig even though I didn't get paid than what I did yesterday. And literally full tables of people having conversations during my set, people walking around, grabbing plates of meatballs. No, it was absolutely insane. People were yelling random shit. It was nuts. Anyways, stay in school, kids. So if you have kids listening that like don't want to go to school, remember you could end up like me. So do your homework.
The best part of Brad's hell gig yesterday was we have this pact among me, Brad, Bill, and if we're ever at a hell gig, we promise to do each other's set. So we were doing a show one time. It was me, you, and Bill, and nobody was listening to us. It was just like you described. It was one of the worst shows ever. And I was up and I started doing Bill Simon's set, and the audience had no clue. But these guys just lost their shit. They were dying so loud. And then Brad goes up and says he was deaf for 40 years. And he's doing my set, and Bill's doing his set, and we're just entertaining each other. But I had a hell gig. But tell them how you closed out your hell gig yesterday.
Okay, so I realized I left part of that story out yesterday, so I'll tell you the whole thing with that. But also, what Mike just described was a terrible show that me, him, and Bill were on. But the upside is that it's me, him, and Bill, so we can at least laugh about it together.
Yeah.
Yesterday, I'm all by myself.
Yeah.
I'm looking around for
which
sympathy.
Makes for a long ride home.
I'm like looking around for sympathy or somebody to understand and feel what I'm going through, and nobody gives a shit about me.
We love it, though. We love the stories afterwards. Yeah, it's painful for you, but whenever you tell a story, we just love it. We love it because we really take a lot of pride in another comic suffering.
Oh, and I was suffering.
Am I right?
Bad. Yeah, I was suffering bad. So what I didn't tell you yesterday, because I was so riled up, I talked to you right after the gig. At one point in the middle of my set, I don't remember the context, so there was too much going on, but I said, yeah, guys, just remember, don't forget to look me up. My name is Mike Murray. True story. Then at the end of my set, I said, thank you, guys. My name is Bill Simas.
Oh,
I did
so
both
you got
names.
both of us.
I got both names. I almost forgot. And then I told Bill last night, I'm like, dude, I totally forgot. I at one point told the audience my name was Mike Murray. 20 minutes later, I told them my name was Bill Simas. Never once did I say
and the whole audience. Who was that guy? That was like to tell the truth. My name is Bill Simas. My name is Bill Simas. My name is Bill Simas. Who is the real Bill Simas?
Listen, you guys have been great.
Stay in school.
That's
the motto.
Stay in school. Go Pats.
If you take anything from today's show, stay in school. Get yourself a cat.
That's right. Don't have kids.
Grab a backpack.
Good night, America.